She put me in tow, which is also very, very nasty.
Then I would like to go to this album. You're playing with a band again, the 400 unit.
Yes.
Could you tell me more about the band and why do you play with them? Specifically them, the Unit 400.
I've known them since most of them since I was a teenager, actually. The keyboard player I met later on, he played with a band called Sunvolt for a long time, and I met him through that band. The rest of the guys are people I've known since I was probably 15 or 16, people that I grew up with back home that I knew before I was ever in the Drive-By Truckers. So I pretty much just asked the first people that came to mind, the first people that I thought would be right to put the band together, and I was lucky enough to get all those people.
Okay. And what's the difference between playing with the 400 unit and Drive-By Truckers? What are the main differences?
A lot of difference. For one thing, I guess I make more of the decisions with this band, because it is my band. But it is also a collaborative effort between everybody. That's kind of a hard question to answer without insulting anybody when you think about it. They're different people. They come from different backgrounds. They have different influences. So it's going to make for a different band. I think we're all basically working on the same goal, though. I think we all have the same reasons in mind for playing music to start with.
Okay. And what's the reason with the separation in the band name, Jason Isbell and the 400 unit? And why not the 400 unit?
Well, I had a little bit of, I write all the songs. And I sing all the songs, but I had a little bit of, I guess, notoriety after being in the Drive-By Truckers, and it was a little bit easier for me to go out and have a bit of a built-in audience if I had the band built under my name.
Okay.
So it probably, we may have skipped a couple steps in trying to bring people to what we were doing by doing that.
And what's the difference between this album, playing with the 400 unit, and the previous album? Because you brought it out as a solo album.
Right. Yeah. The previous album took a long time to record. I only had a day or two at a time to work on it, and then I had to go back on the road and tour for a while in the end. And this one we did in more of a structure that was more traditional, where we would go in for a couple of weeks and record, and then mix the record and master the record and be done with it. I think that really gave the new record more of a consistency, more of a thread that ran through the whole record that the first record didn't have. That and the fact that the same people played on each song. In the first record I was using people from all over the place. A lot of the Drive-By Truckers played on it, a lot of local musicians in Muscle Shoals played on it. But this particular record, I think making it with the band after we'd been touring for a year or so beforehand, really made it a single body of work that really sounds like a record from start to finish.
Okay. And you're still in contact with the Drive-By Truckers?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Okay. And what's the best thing you learned in that band?
I learned a lot about how the business works. I don't know if that was the best thing, because I really don't think of myself as a business person, but I did learn that you have to compromise very little. You have to really keep your vision intact, and what you want to do, you have to fight really hard to make that happen. And if the people around you don't think that's a good idea, then you need to put new people around you. And I think that's probably the most important thing that came out of that experience.
Okay, because you came with the band when it already existed.
That band, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, their work ethic was really impressive. They traveled a lot, worked really, really hard, and I learned that it can work. If you put enough into it and you play the kind of music that you want to play and the kind of music that you enjoy listening to, and you stick to your guns, then you can actually make a career out of it.